what did the UFC just do? They just dropped a whole list of bangers of upcoming fights for us, so let's talk about it. First, UFC Nashville Fight Night. Originally, it was supposed to be Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov, and Umar had to pull out of the fight due to a shoulder injury, and he will need shoulder surgery, and because of that, now the main event for that fight will be Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. Of course, Corey Sandhagen is coming off a win versus Song Yadong and Chito Vera, and also Rob Font is coming off of a win against Adrian Yanez, but also coming off a loss of the fight before that versus Chito Vera. I was hoping that Corey Sandhagen would get the championship fight, or at least fight Sean O'Malley, but it is what it is. Hopefully this fight puts him in some sort of contention, which it is kind of weird right now because Chito might fight Dominic Cruz again, I think, and then Cejudo's out for shoulder surgery, Merab's out with surgery, and hopefully Corey Sandhagen gets his shot after the Sterling versus O'Malley, and there could be a chance where even Sterling has said that he might even move up after this because the weight cut is too much for him, and we'll see after that. And especially with him having to do this fight short notice, I could see a Corey Sandhagen versus Henry Cejudo, something like that, or even the Umar. I don't think Umar should get the. I would say between whoever wins between Dominic and Chito Vera, we might have a Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen 2 for an interim belt. It depends how bad Sean O'Malley loses versus Sterling. So that's UFC Nashville. And then now we got some UFC 293 unofficial news. Yesterday, I did a whole TikTok about it. If you didn't hear anywhere, Dricus du Plessis will not be able to fight. He says that he is injured. He was pretty beat up after the Robert Whittaker fight, and that he will not be ready for UFC 293 in Australia versus Izzy. Izzy clapped back about that, said some words about it, and he said, Strickland, you're up next. So not official yet. Hasn't been made official, but it looks like it will be Izzy versus Sean Strickland for the belt main event. And I mean, that's another. I personally think it's another easy fight for Izzy right there. The only thing that Strickland might win is the press conference. He's probably gonna do something dumb, as you know, in the Joe Rogan experience. He said that he was gonna pull some Chinese flag stuff, but I'm not with it. I mean, you lost to Alex Bejeda. Yes, you had a good fight. I forgot who it was against. He had a really good fight, and Izzy's just on another level compared to the rest of his competition, and then the next fight in that one is Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape. I'm not too familiar with Manel, but I like to see Kai Kara-France, especially after that controversial loss, and hopefully with this he can get back on the tracks and hopefully get back to a title shot. And here, Manel, I'm of course, before I do a whole breakdown, I'm going to do my research before this, but I hope just make it an interesting fight and just have another contender in the flyweight division. And now, let's see what we got next. Looking at my notes here. UFC Fight Night on Mexican Independence Day in Las Vegas in the T-Mobile Arena. Personally, Dana White, you should just make this a pay-per-view, but I get it. I think Canelo's having his fights then. It's just going to be too much to do a pay-per-view. So here we have Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko 2, the second fight here. I'm super hyped for this. This is an amazing fight. Alexa Grasso, as you know, you could look back. I called her upsetting Valentina, and I hope she can do it again, but I'm looking for an absolute scrap here for Valentina wanting to retain, and for Alexa to be right now the only Mexican fighter to hopefully keep the belt after winning it. And then we have Kelvin Gastelum's debut in his welterweight division versus Shavkat, and that is a heck of a fighter to debut in your welterweight. Here, I'm really excited to see how Kelvin adjusts to the welterweight, how the cut will be, and just how he will be speed wise, and then how Shavkat will be taking this fight. and I'm just excited. I think it's just gonna be such a banger fight, this one. And then after this, we have the Tracy Cortez versus, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Jasmine Jasdavuskas. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. She's from Canada. She's the number 15 fighter, and then of course the Tracy Cortez, and number 14 in the flyweight division. Another banger here. Of course, you have another Mexican fighter here, and I'm expecting, hopefully, we can get a Raul Rosas fight here. Hopefully, which I'm hoping for, because that'd be great, and he definitely needs to redeem himself. And then last but not least, UFC 294. We finally got it. Abu Dhabi. We have some fights. You know, I'm gonna do the main card. I'm gonna do the main event last. We have Imaya versus Ikram. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but I believe Ikram was supposed to originally fight Paulo Costas in the main card of UFC 291, which is coming up soon. And Ikram is from the Dana White series. He was able to get a contract. And of course, with the next fight I'm going to be talking about is the reason why that fight was canceled. So Ikram versus Imayev. And with the second fight, I don't know if this is going to be the co-main event. It might be. You know, they still got to fill out the card. But we have Paulo Costas versus Khamzat Chimaev in Abu Dhabi. And it's Khamzat Chimaev's middleweight debut. I'm excited for this. Just to see, you know, it's a way less of a weight cut for him. It's just two big guys scrapping it out. I mean, I personally hope that Khamzat Chimaev can push up in the rankings, and hopefully we might see him win this fight, and then we might have to say, hey Du Plessis, you might have to do one more fight, man. Or it might be this fight, it might be Jared Cannonier. I'm just hoping he can climb up the rankings as fast as he can, because I want to see Khamzat versus Izzy. I think that would be an amazing fight. That'd sell out wherever it's at. And then for the main event, I personally didn't think was going to happen, but Dana White got it to happen. Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira, number 2. I'm here for it. We got this banger of a fight starting off UFC 2 or finishing off UFC 294. I'm so excited for it, and I'm hoping we can get more fights announced. I think there are rumors right now of Leon Edwards in 295 versus Colby Covington. Hopefully that goes through. Just we have a co-main and a main card, co-main and main card, with of course John Jones and Stipe being the main event of that. But Islam versus Charles Oliveira. I mean, Charles Oliveira, dominant win versus Beneil Dariush, who I took Beneil, and I mean, this right here, this is electric. These guys already fought each other. They already know what they can do, and they have film. And I'm excited just to see if Islam's gonna win. He had a controversial win. You could say that possibly Volk won. I thought he had won, and then Oliveira coming for revenge, more fired up and just ready to go, ready to get his belt back. And I'm excited for this. Comment down below which card and which fight are you most excited for. And we are on the goal to 500 subscribers right now. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.